just this, he's something about him. He's got this aura about him, you know. When he walks into the room, he's got this presence. You can see, you know, he means business.
He is one of those unique, creative people which is driven to perfection. And he has an eye for detail.
He has a passion for so many things, and that is actually contagious to everybody working around him.
If he has to pick up a rugby ball or style a table for a wedding, or be in a board meeting and discuss finances, or be a loving dad to his daughter, all those things he can morph between very, very quickly.
All over the show, but still centered and dedicated into his direction.
All behind all the fluff and all the smoke and the mirrors and the pizzazz and the jazz is just someone that likes to drink wine.
My name is Aleit. I'm the founder and chairman of the Aleit Group. Now, it sounds like an extremely fancy title, but I didn't give that to myself. It just happened organically. The Aleit Group specializes in events and wedding coordination with a lot of subdivisions as well. 2002, it started with me, a one-man show as a wedding planner. I was still working full-time for a big wine and spirits company, functions and events manager countrywide, and I did a wedding for one of the winemakers and his wife that was also working for this company. And I loved it. And it was always my dream to be director at the age of 32. That didn't happen, but in actual fact, I think it did happen, director of my own company. And then it just grew organically. It is true that the bride is probably the most selfish person on earth. And she's allowed to be. It happens only once and it costs a lot of money. And she is the VIP of this show. But for me, just that bride walking down the aisle, I'm not a soft person. I don't cry easily. But literally, if you worked with that client for a whole year, and this is that moment where something happens in the soul of that bride and that groom. Something literally happens here. You can feel it. I can feel it shaking. That's when my emotions run wild and I just pretend there's a fly or something in my eye. A lot of people ask me, Aleit, did you ever think it will be this big? No. My fear was, I just don't want it to get too big because then I can't service every client. I cannot be in every meeting. I cannot put the standard, the Aleit standard out there. And I had to overcome that. I needed to learn to empower other people and to trust other people and to train them. We call it the Aleit way. People often ask, what is the Aleit way? And it's a term that just appeared out of nowhere. I think through the years, people realize Aleit standards are extremely high, and they realize that service is everything. Should your phone ring at night and it's a bride from the US, you better be there to take that call. If an email comes in, the reply time shouldn't be 24 hours, it should be 3 hours. You know, you want to prove to your clients that you are their go-to person that hold their hand. People say sometimes to me, Aleit, you're so lucky. And I've heard once, how do you spell luck? W-O-R-K. Nothing will just fall in your lap. You must be willing to start at the bottom, literally. I've even washed floors in my career. I watered plants. You know, that's part of the fun. The sign's quite massive, but I didn't choose it. Sometimes I'm a bit embarrassed. We have, I think, 50 to 60 staff members working from the offices here. We have a branch in Johannesburg. We have Zeitz in Cape Town. We have A-Create in the industrial area, our furniture company. Then there's Stir Food and a few more divisions.
I got to know Aleit by playing the wedding march in the weddings that he planned when he was still a very small company, almost a one-man show working on his own. a job came open during that time in his business for a wedding planner. And I said to myself, gosh, this is an interesting leap of what I was doing at the moment. I'm actually a classically trained musician, and this is maybe an opportunity to go from classical towards commercial entertainment. I applied for the job, and as I say, the rest is history. I became the first wedding planner that he appointed, and made it very clear for him that I didn't want to do weddings, but that we have a lot of potential that we can do with his name and his brand.
I had to let go and trust, but always to have status meetings to see where each project is. And then the secret to a successful business is to appoint people that's stronger than you. When I appoint my colleagues, the one word that stands out for me is humility. You are representatives of me and of the group. We must be careful with events. You must stand out. You can go into hotels, you can go into restaurants, you can open your own company like a lot of our interns has done. Will they go on a power trip within a year from now and think they're the best in the industry and start irritating people or rub off on clients? Or will they actually walk this road with me and stay humble?
We've got an incredibly unique energy that we've built between one another, and it didn't come overnight. And I think the fact that it's morphed over the years into this very unique bunch of people.
The Aleit Academy is very close to my heart. I started the Aleit Academy due to the need within the industry to have experts in the field of eventing.
We realized that, listen, there's still capacity to train people and educate people, and because we have this staffing component, we also started the Aleit Academy, which I think was probably one of the biggest moves we've done. I know the first group ended in only 5 graduates, and where today I think there's about 110 students on campus.
It's our duty to send out to the industry, not only in South Africa, but worldwide, the best, most rounded students. And they are the future trendsetters and leaders, not only within the events industry, but also television, sound and lighting companies. The sky's the limit.
So we've always been a company where, except from our quality and our brand that we are, we always try to inspire the young people to become part of the firm. And if you look at our staff currently, most of them have been studying with us, has been working with us, and actually work their way to the top and staying with the firm.
You don't appoint a skill. A lot of times, those skills can be learned. You appoint a personality, an energy, and then people that will perform better than you in some aspects. First year of business, I was just so excited about this venture. You know, I don't know where this love for weddings came from. Why? You know, I didn't even attend weddings as a child. We were never invited or didn't know people that are getting married. I don't know why. Maybe we didn't have enough money, or my dad was the minister doing the weddings. So the first year of business did really actually involve me. You get Aleit, day and night. I am at your service. I've learned a lot of lessons. Be transparent. People want to know exactly where you are in the process. If you promise them a quote by Tuesday, and Tuesday come and go, and you're not ready with that quote because somebody had to go for an emergency operation, they need to be informed. Then they're fine, but you have to be proactive. Then I had to appoint someone. because I had my day job and I did this at night. I appointed someone and I said, when I have 20 weddings signed, then I will resign, because financially then I will be fine and I will have stability. I refuse to borrow money from anyone. And the great thing with this kind of service at that stage, only being coordination, it's not tangible products that you have to buy and sell. You sell yourself and your knowledge and your skill. So my one friend did a photography course. I think it was very basic, and I was still living in an apartment, but it's actually a flat. And he was staying in the other block, and I said, can you please help me to shoot my website? And in my little apartment, I had a trestle table, and we just chucked cutlery on the table and left it like that and photographed it. We packed tomatoes with knives in, baby. I worked with what I had, stacked plates. And I had a 4-page website. Those days it was 3,500 Rand. I had my website. And that's when the inquiries started coming in. And that's when I appointed Matilda still. And lunchtime I will go and send emails. At night I will go and send emails. And I said 20 bookings. Then within 3 months I had 17 bookings. And I told myself, Aleit, this is it. You're going to drop the service that you promised your clients. You're not going to be truthful. And that's when I left my day job. And since then, it's just been this organic growth of this company. Not all my decisions have been great. Not at all. So weddings and jewelry go together. I mean, it's the perfect match. So I opened a jewelry company with a reputable jeweler. And the website was up and it was magnificent. You could order online. We had all these amazing designs. And I'm talking quality. I'm talking fashionable. I'm talking next level. 3 months and I had to close it down. People don't want to buy a personal product such as that on a website. I started 2 catering companies at one point because I thought they can compete with each other. That just makes sense. Didn't work at all. People ask me, Aleit, how did it influence your confidence? And I'm like, it didn't. Yes, I'm heartbroken for 3 days, but then there's another opportunity. Then there's a wonderful raving review about your company. Then you're in that magazine, and then you're in that overseas magazine, and then you're rated in the UK as the best wedding planner in South Africa. Then these small mistakes that I've made doesn't really matter. But you should embrace it and don't take it personal. So what is happening here? We're at the Lawrenceford Market. In 2014, we called it the Lawrenceford Harvest Market. That's when we started out. And I always had this dream of having a market where there's fresh produce. You buy your lettuce, your carrots, your beans, all organic from this market. And also your free-range chicken and your meat for the week. However, funny enough, it didn't sell. People want to get together to party, to have wine together, to share food. And that is what this market is for the community.
This market was the brainchild of the Aleit Group. We host weekly markets and we have a lot of repeat visitors, our local people as well as visitors from abroad and holiday makers. And it's a great place to get together and socialize, actually. We have great shopping too. But that seems to be the main place to socialize.
We're at Cavalli Stud and Wine Farm outside Somerset West, one of my favorite wine estates. It's beautiful, it's organic, it's real, it's clean. When you choose a venue, you must actually choose according to your own style and personality. You will never get 10 out of 10, but if you get that 9 out of 10, look at your budget, make an informed decision, and then you book your venue normally a year in advance to avoid disappointment. Let me show you this alternative wedding. The color for this wedding is blush pink, and I love these custom-made tables that we did. We play around with various forms. You will see we have a round dance floor, we have the round tables, and then we have these high cocktail tables with the ghost chair. The chair actually determines the look and feel of the wedding. Funny enough, the setup that we have here today, that's normally the setup that we have for pre-dinner drinks. The normal couples, that's not so much fun, would either go for chandeliers on its own. This couple, they're different and unique. They chose to go for fairy lights, and you must see this at night. They're all on dimmers, with smaller naked bulbs, with your bigger naked bulbs, with the vintage chandeliers, and then these wonderful cages above the dance floor. Now, we've never done this at all. So all the floral will go in there tomorrow. Now, people would ask, what? When do you finish your setup? I won't leave here this evening with my team if we're not completely done. Certain furniture pieces, the Scandinavian furniture from A-Create that we're using, that look and feel, you cannot open at night. You must think in terms of water damage or, you know, if there's a pipe that has a slight leak. That's things that the client in the end has to pay for. So you must work with the client's money in a very responsible way. Very nice. Is it from Miles?
He is almost, you can't say free-spirited, but I think within the industry it describes him quite well. He goes with what he wants. He goes with the flow. He also creates his own new ideas, his own brand as well, especially when it comes to weddings, which is his baby.
You know what you can do is just take the menus out for me so that we can look at that.
He really pushes us to be creative and to do something different, which is amazing because most bosses just want a textbook. With him, it's do it the way you want it to be and make sure that there's that special touch for every single wedding.
A lot of people that find their passion say you never get tired with what you're doing because you do what you're passionate about and what you love. I don't agree. A hobby is a wonderful thing. But if a hobby is so close to your heart, don't make it your job. I ensure that I have other hobbies on the side in order for me to keep on enjoying what I do on a daily basis. Love the table names. Is that the places that they visited? Okay, cool. Get more ghost chairs on that side for me, the round ones, and bring them past here, okay? Thank you.
A-Create came about a few years ago. So it actually started as an interior shop, and that sporadically grew into actual furniture hire company. We are the people who actually make the magic happen on the day.
Where did you get this, dear?
Aleit is a lovely person to work with. He has an immense eye for detail. He is on it, he sees everything. So it's challenging for yourself, so you always push yourself to keep up with that. And that's good, because we always set the benchmark very high.
You've discussed this with the couple. I wasn't involved with this. What is the plan?
For this wedding specifically, the couple is quite romantic and yet very sort of on edge, I would say. So that means that we had the fun of doing something in between the two to sort of merge that.
The ceremony is done, setup's done.
Down.
Let's quickly go look.
Our job doesn't have like a proper job description, like what you do, or you do what you have to do for the event to work.
Our guests attending the wedding tomorrow is from all over the world. What we do not realize is that South Africa is one of the top wedding destinations in the world. South Africa as a country has so much to offer. We have mountains, picturesque. We have luscious lawns. We have vineyards, rolling vineyards. We have beaches. So you can choose literally a wedding in any of our provinces because it's all beautiful. And then we have all these various cultures in our country. So this is an industry that is booming and will continue to boom. When you go out on the floor at a function, you're on stage, people watch you closely. And if the groom's shoes are dirty, I need to go and polish it.
There's literally so much that goes into a wedding that people don't see. You know, there needs to be some form of relationship going into the wedding with all the service providers, which is what we really encourage.
I recall a wedding. It was a lunch wedding at the beginning of my career at his private home in Constantia. The bride came to me after main course and she said, "Aleit, where's the videographer?" I thought I'm dying on the spot. The wedding's over. We're going to serve dessert now. No videographer. We learn every day. I shouldn't tell this story on camera, but I cringe if I think of it. I'm thrilled with this wedding. The hand fans and the parasols are laid out. The glasses are polished. The cutlery is shining to perfection. I cannot wait for us to light the candles. 3 hours to go till showtime.
I think part of Aleit's relaxed demeanor is what we love about him, and I think what everyone loves about the company. It's a very liberal, open-minded environment. Aleit loves to pop in, as you've probably picked up by now. His concentration span is everywhere. It's short, but everywhere. So he pops in and he's always a breath of fresh air.
He is literally there. He will, you know, do the final touches if perhaps a napkin, the fold isn't, you know, to his standard. You know, he'll come and do those final little touches. And he's got an impeccable eye, which is remarkable. You know, sometimes maybe you'll see past it, but he will pick it up immediately and then adjust it. Or say, please, will you adjust it accordingly? I mean, the style and taste himself is just, it's divine. It's absolutely amazing. So I said, I learn something new every day from him.
Been 12 years in the word attention to detail always pop up. Nothing is ever perfect. Nothing can be done perfect enough. And I think every day we strive for that. That is our philosophy.
He always seemed to amaze and surprise us. He has an energy that I think people, when he walks into a room, you can feel Aleit is here.
He has developed immensely as an individual and actually pivoted to the people that are alongside him. And as his situation and family and work and environment has changed, and he hasn't been stuck in his ways, he had to develop, and that's really a great characteristic to be able to tie to the person.
The one student asked me, "Is it fake it till you make it?" I don't think so. If you don't believe you're the best, and if you don't strive to give 140%, you're not going to make it.